Freshman five-star phenom Nico Iamaleava is the generational prospect waiting in the wings, biding his time until he's the starter in 2024. Joe Milton is the veteran who backed up Hendon Hooker last year, and now he slides into the starter role, right? In a perfect world, it all makes sense. However, through the first 2 weeks of spring ball, Nico hasn't exactly conceded the position to Milton. Let's bring on three coaching insider Jesse Simonton. Jesse, is there a real battle taking place for QB1 in Knoxville right now?
I think there's at least a competition unfolding that has Josh Heupel maybe smiling a little bit, even if he won't maybe admit it publicly. One scrimmage down, according to reports in Knoxville, Nico maybe outplayed Joe Milton a little bit. Notably, neither quarterback turned the ball over. Both quarterbacks led a couple touchdown drives, but I think the number one offense had more issues against the number one defense. And so, it's one scrimmage, but I think the fact that Nico came in December really showed an ability to quickly process information, to learn Josh Heupel's, go-go offense fairly quickly. Now it's about, letting it rip. That's what Joey Halsey, the new offensive coordinator, has kind of preached to Nico, so far this spring. And I just think it's very beneficial for Tennessee either way. If, in a perfect world, like you said, Joe Milton wins the job. Nico serves as kind of the guy like Joe Milton did for Hooker a year ago, getting some valuable reps in mop-up duty, and then you hand the keys to him in 24. But if a QB controversy unfolds between now and fall camp, I don't think that's bad for Tennessee.
I know Nico was our top QB in the 23 cycle, but do you think Heupel wants him to start this year? Or being a QB guy, do you think he understands the importance of maybe sitting and learning for a season?
I think Heupel probably sees both avenues as potential, lanes for success for Tennessee. He's called Nico, the most impressive prospect, most talented player he's ever been around. At the same time, he believes Joe Milton can be elite and has truly grown as a player from when he first entered the program. And remember, Josh Heupel named Joe Milton the starter over Hendon Hooker in 2021. That move backfired. He then went away from Milton. But Milton stuck around, in the age of the transfer portal. A lot of guys, bound to lose that job. Milton saw Heupel as a guy who can develop quarterbacks and stuck around. And by all accounts, you talk to anybody in Knoxville, has improved. He has improved the accuracy, the processing, the decision making. Again, in a perfect world, you look at Joe Milton now, he has the tools, the frame, and kind of the howitzer on his right arm to be Will Levis in the 24 NFL draft pick. And so if Heupel can his resume that he got Hendon Hooker, who was a nobody transfer, drafted potentially as a day one, day two pick this year, and then does the same with a guy like Joe Milton, that's only going to help, him sell the future Nico Iamaleavas to Tennessee, after he hands the keys to Nico next season anyway. So I don't think there's a bad lane for Heupel here. I just think it's more for if Nico pushes Milton, you're more likely to get the best out of Joe Milton because, yes, he was awesome against Clemson. He looked pretty good in some other mop-up games a year ago. But if you look at his, history, the 4 years that he's played Power 5 teams, that's where he kind of struggles. And the stats just – the Clemson game was an outlier. Even against Vanderbilt when Tennessee ran all over the Commodores a year ago, Milton wasn't that good. He missed several of those. Oh, that receiver's running wide open down the field, and Joe overthrows him by 6 yards. They can't afford that. They don't have the margin this year. Offensive line isn't going to be as good. I do like some of the receiver options. Brew McCoy. They got the transfer from Oregon. But are they going to be Jalen Hyatt? Do they have multiple first, second-round guys like Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman? I don't think we know that yet. And so the quarterback play might actually need to be elevated even more than it was a year ago, which is why if Nico can push Milton to be the best he can be, it's a perfect world for Tennessee.
Yeah, and Tennessee fans have to be thrilled by this, seeing a phenom like Nico come onto campus and actually push for a starting position has to be exciting. And also having a guy like a Joe Milton who is a veteran and can come in and put in some minutes and hopefully bridge the gap to Nico. But hey, if not, we'll see. Tennessee fans, do me a favor right now. Like this video and subscribe to the On3 YouTube page. We have you covered when it comes to volunteers, recruiting, college football news. It's all here at On3, so smash that subscribe button for me. All right, what are your expectations, Jesse, for Joe Milton this season?
Well, I think it's, paramount for him to get off to a hot start. Tennessee's schedule isn't overly daunting, but they do play a Power 5 team in Virginia, which ideally would be a little friskier than even like an App State or something like that, to start the season. And so, all eyes are on that trip to Gainesville in week 3 or week 4. And Florida's going to be a down team compared to the last couple seasons, but it's still, you're playing in the swamp. How do you perform there? I think that could be kind of a make or break game, because if you look at Tennessee's schedule, they're going to be favored in just about every game outside of Alabama and Georgia. And so Georgia does have to go to Knoxville this season as well. So if they truly want to contend for an SEC East championship, they're going to have to win those games they're supposed to win. And that first one, well, it may sound funny because last year was the first time they had beaten Florida in a while. They need to win in Gainesville, and so Joe Milton needs to make sure he has everything, clicking by that week 3, week 4 in 2023 here in the fall.
And what would a successful season for Nico look like, in your opinion?
Halsey said it, but a freshman in this system's tough. They ask a lot on their quarterbacks. And so I would say probably if he can do anything like what Joe did a year ago, coming in, these blowouts and just kind of showing some rapport with some of these 2s and 3s on the depth chart, that'll kind of give him kind of a launching pad into 2024 where he is, the guy on campus.
All right, Jesse, we're going to keep watching this Tennessee QB. I'm not going to call it a battle. We'll call it a competition for now. Thanks for checking in on the Coach's Corner today. Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. And remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.